Guru Busters!
Welcome back to the main event. In our last video on FTS Income, we unmasked him. We exposed the character of Iain Erskine as a fiction and revealed the real man hiding behind the curtain. Iain Higgins, a data analyst operating a fraudulent enterprise from a notorious scammer's address. He thought hiding behind a fake name for 2 decades would protect him. He thought his pathetic legal threats would silence his channel. He has no idea how wrong he is. His cowardice has only poured gasoline on the fire. Today is not just another expose. Today, we go for the kill. We are going to systematically prove that the products sold by the real man, Iain Higgins, are just as fraudulent as the character he invented to sell them. Today, we burn his entire operation to the ground. In the first video, I mentioned having enough material for 10 more takedowns. Honestly, that was probably an understatement. I'm genuinely constantly astonished by what I find. It's almost a talent. You'd think someone doing this for nearly 20 years would be slick and hard to expose. But even when he's just talking over spreadsheets, with no actual live trading happening, he still manages to make these colossal blunders and present completely flawed logic. Every time he tries to explain a concept or present evidence, it's riddled with new fails. It's truly unbelievable. Today, we are only focusing on just one of those videos and a connected external one. Fail number 1. The heat map illusion. This is the heat map. It's the crown jewel of his FTS Data Advanced package. To get access to this wisdom, you first have to pay £799 for the basic product. Then dish out an additional £349. That's over £1,100 for a spreadsheet. He presents this as a sophisticated tool to find the profitable edge. Watch how he does it. He takes historical data, applies a few of his bullshit model filters, and then shows you these seductive green squares. Look at that, he will say, pointing to the Norwegian league. See, if you'd bet on over 2.5 goals in these games, you would have made a huge profit. The implication is clear. This heat map has uncovered a secret, profitable angle that you can now exploit. It's a powerful sales pitch. It looks like a money machine. This is a trick at the heart of so many betting scams. It's called data dredging or p-hacking. If you torture any data set enough, it will confess to anything. You look at thousands of past games, apply many filters, and eventually, just by pure random chance, some patterns will emerge that look profitable in hindsight. To prove to you that this isn't some genius insight but a simple charlatan's trick, I built my own heat map. It looks very similar, doesn't it? But there's a crucial difference. The data behind this heat map isn't from real football matches. It's completely random data. I programmed this spreadsheet to simulate thousands of imaginary bets with random outcomes. There is, by definition, zero edge to be found here. In fact, we have negative value because of the commission. And yet, look what happens when we run the numbers. Oh, would you look at that? The Swiss Super League is showing a massive profit on over 2.5 goals. And the imaginary South Korean K-League is a goldmine. It's a miracle. Do you see? These profitable scenarios are illusions. They are guaranteed to appear in any sufficiently large random dataset. They have no predictive power whatsoever. The edge he is showing you in his heat map is just as real as the edge I just found in these completely made-up games. His FTS Data Advanced product is built on a statistical fallacy. It's a tool designed to find patterns in random noise and present them as a genuine edge. He's charging you over £1,000 for spreadsheets that are, for the purpose of predicting future results, completely and utterly worthless. Charging that much money for a tool that is fundamentally deceptive, I'll let you decide what to call that. To me, that's a scam of the highest order. If you want to learn more about p-hacking, watch our April Fool's videos, where we present a hugely profitable and simple strategy based on this exact trick. Fail number 2. Torturing data for nothing. So we've established that his heat map is a masterclass in finding patterns in random noise. But it gets even funnier. Let's look at the actual edge he believes he's found in the Norwegian league. He presses his magic report button, and here are the results he proudly presents. 208 bets and you are up just over 11 points, meaning you are up 11 times your standard stake. To a beginner, that sounds great. Profit is profit, right? But this is where these gurus prey on a lack of statistical understanding. This result is, to put it bluntly, completely and utterly meaningless. Let me explain. In any game of chance, you will have winning and losing streaks. If I flip a coin 200 times, I might get 110 heads and 90 tails. Does that mean I found a magic edge in coin flipping? Of course not. It's just random variance. To prove a real edge, you need to show that your results are highly unlikely to be the product of pure luck. This is called statistical significance. So let's run the numbers on Line Earn Scheme's amazing Norwegian discovery. We don't know what the average odds were, but we can assume different values. It doesn't make that much of a difference. For example, at average odds of about 2.0 after commission, you'd break even with 104 winners and 104 losers, 50-50. His result of 11.16 points means he likely had around 110 winners and 98 losers. So he's only 6 wins better than weighted chance over 208 attempts. Does that sound like a powerful predictive edge? Or does it sound like a slightly lucky coin flipping run? We can actually calculate the likelihood of this happening by chance using a concept called a p-value. The p-value tells you, if there were truly no edge, what's the probability I'd get a result this good or even better just by pure luck? And the p-value for this amazing Norwegian system is around 20%. And it barely matters if the odds were 180 or 220. The result is always in that same meaningless ballpark. To put that in perspective, scientists and statisticians generally consider a result significant only if the p-value is below 5% or 1%. His result of 20% means a result this profitable would happen randomly in about 1 out of every 5 similar trials. It's not a rare event. Let me be clear. A low p-value after p-hacking would still be meaningless, as finding impressive-looking flukes is the entire point of that flawed method. But to go through all that trouble and present a result with a p-value as high as 20% as a genuine edge, that is a profound demonstration of either breathtaking statistical incompetence or just pure brazen deception. He has tortured the data and it has confessed to nothing. And he is charging you over £1,000 for the privilege of looking at it. Fail number 3, the points deception. Alright, let's talk about that number he was so proud of, 11.16 points. Have you ever noticed how many online tipsters and fake gurus love to talk about points won? There's a very good reason for that, and it's not because it's a useful metric. Points is the preferred language of the clueless and the corrupt. It's a way to present performance that sounds professional, but can be incredibly misleading. Let me break down why no real professional thinks in these terms. First, professionals don't use fixed stakes. The idea that you bet the same amount, 1 point, when every single bet is a hallmark of an amateur. Real bettors and traders adjust their stake based on the odds and, most importantly, the size of their perceived edge or value. Think about it. Would you risk the same amount of money on a 1.20 favorite as you would on a 12.0 underdog? Of course not. Your stake should be lower for higher odds to manage risk. Similarly, if you find a massive value opportunity, you'd want to stake more. This concept is core to professional betting, often related to principles like the Kelly criterion. Even if you don't use strict Kelly, every pro adjusts their stakes. By using a flat points system, FTS Income is demonstrating a complete and utter ignorance of basic fundamental bankroll management. It's a massive red flag that screams, I am not a professional. Second, points can be easily manipulated to sound impressive. What does plus 11 points even mean? He is relying on you not to think about it. For example, if I increase the number of random bets in my spreadsheet, look what happens to the points won. Wow, there are huge numbers now. Have the systems become more profitable? No, of course not. The underlying performance is the same. There are just more bets. More bets will naturally lead to a bigger number in points, positive or negative. It's a meaningless scalable number used to impress people who don't look closer. It's another layer of deception, perfectly suited for the FTS Income model, which relies entirely on impressing and preying upon the uninformed. Fail number 4. The £10,000 bankroll of a multi-millionaire. Alright, so we've established that the FTS heat map finds meaningless noise, the results are statistically insignificant, and it's all measured with a flawed amateur metric. But it gets so much better. In the video, while presenting his amazing Norwegian discovery, Iain Higgins makes a very specific and very revealing statement about his staking.
I'll drip £100 into each of these markets.
He says he stakes £100 per game. Now, of course, we have absolutely no proof he's placing these bets at all. It's almost certain he isn't risking a single penny. But let's, for the sake of argument, take him at his word. Let's live in his fantasy world for a moment. In that world, he's staking £100 per match. Now, what does Iain Higgins himself advise his followers to do when it comes to staking? We have gone through his other videos and podcasts, and he consistently preaches a very common, if simplistic, bankroll management rule. Stake 1% of your total bankroll per match. Do you see where this is going? Let's do the math that he hopes you won't. If a £100 stake represents 1% of your bankroll, what is your total bankroll? £100 divided by 1% equals £10,000. Let that sink in. The man who, until a few weeks ago, had a giant banner on his website claiming he had amassed over £3.5 million in profits since 2007 is, by his own staking advice and his own stated bet size, operating with a bankroll of just £10,000. So we have to ask, what happened to the other £3,490,000? Did he squander it all? The real answer, of course, is much simpler. It brings to mind the famous quote from the legendary footballer George Best. Perhaps Iain Higgins has his own version. I spent a lot of money on booze, lost bets, and pictures of fast cars. The rest I never had in the first place. This is a monumental self-own. He is so busy trying to sound professional by giving out generic advice that he is completely forgotten to align it with his own ludicrous multi-millionaire persona. A real multi-millionaire trader would be dealing with stakes and a bankroll so large they'd have completely different concerns. Liquidity, getting matched, paying massive premium charges, not blinking away with £100 bets from a £10,000 bank. He has given the game away with his own numbers. The multi-millionaire claim was a lie, a fantasy, a marketing gimmick. And his own staking advice proves it. Fail number 4 is the nail in the coffin of his entire fabricated persona. Fail number 5. The hopeless economics for his followers. So we've established that by his own numbers, he's operating with a tiny bankroll that completely contradicts his multi-millionaire persona. But what about the people he's selling this dream to? Let's look at the actual advice he gives his followers right after setting his own £100 stake.
If you want to play along, you can do £3.50, £3.50, you can do 3 fivers.
Okay, so let's break this down. He's suggesting his followers stake a total of around £10 to £15 per game. This makes sense, as this is a realistic stake for his target audience, the typical customer who might have a bankroll of £1,000 or £1,500, following his 1% rule. Now let's step into a magical fantasy land for a moment. Let's pretend that his heat map isn't random noise. Let's pretend his bullshit model isn't bullshit. Let's give it a 2% return on investment. To put that in perspective, a long-term 2% ROI for pre-play bets would put you on Tony Bloom, Matthew Benham level here. So in this fantasy world, how much would his followers actually make? Let's use his higher suggestion, 3 fivers for a total stake of £15 per game. With our fantasy 2% ROI, the expected long-term profit per game for one of his followers would be a whopping 30 pence. In the video, he is trading 2 games, so a follower would be looking at a total expected profit of 60 pence for watching over 90 minutes of football. Absolutely life-changing stuff. Now let's bring this back to reality. The FTS Starter Advanced package with the heat map costs over £1,100. So I will leave the math to you. How many games at a fantasy world profit of 30 pence per game would you need to bet just to break even on that fee? How many years would that take? And here's the kicker. That's an annual subscription. So after a year of grinding away for pennies, you would have to pay him again. This is the dirty secret of the entire operation. Even if it worked, which it absolutely does not, the value proposition for the customer is utterly, laughably pathetic. The only person guaranteed to make money in this scenario is him, from the recurring subscription fees he's charging for this worthless advice. It's a business model designed to be a hamster wheel of futility for the user, even in a fantasy world. And that's fail number 5. Fail number 6, the hedge fund charade. So we've established that the entire FTS proposition is mathematically hopeless for the user. But it gets worse. Let's look at the actual trading advice he gives. This is one of my favorites.
I'll drip £100 into each of these markets through the first 10 minutes. So you could do, I'll do 3 lots of 35 quid as an example, £105, 35, 35, 35.
He calls this dripping your stake into the market. He advises his followers with their £15 stakes to do the same. Place 3 separate £5 bets over the first 10 minutes. The drip feed. In our last video, we did a deep dive into this exact piece of pseudo-sophisticated nonsense. We explained that for anyone who isn't a literal hedge fund moving millions, this tactic is a pointless, time-wasting and dangerous charade. And yet, here's Iain Higgins, our supposed betting expert, advising his followers with their £15 stakes to act like they are about to crash the market. It's pure performance art. He's not teaching you a strategy. He's teaching you a dance to make you feel like a trader while you're being led to the slaughter in play. The fact that he relies on this garbage is another clear, undeniable sign that he has absolutely no idea what he is talking about. For a full breakdown of why this is such an amateur hour mistake, watch our video linked in the description. It's like a child putting on a pilot's hat and making airplane noises, thinking they are actually flying a 747. It's a pointless ritual designed only to create a false air of sophistication for the mugs watching at home. Fail number 7. The green screen fallacy. Alright, so we have covered the fake sophistication of his bet placement. Now let's look at what he advises doing after goals are scored. This is where we move from simply incompetent to actively value destroying. This is a mega trading fail. In the video, after the second goal goes in for one of his over 2.5 goals bets, he says this.
Because of, it's 2-0. There we go. So now is when we make a move in that game. Basically what we're going to do, what I am going to do is I'm going to let it settle and remove my liability. You could green up if you wanted to, but I'm going to take my money out of that.
Take my money out. As we explained in our guide to common trading fallacies, this is the number 1 telltale sign of a fake guru. It is a fundamentally, mathematically, value-destroying move, driven by the fear and ignorance of a complete novice. And here's Iain Higgins, the man whose entire brand is built on a fantasy of elite trading success, proudly advocating for this very mistake. He is so desperate for the psychological comfort of a tiny, meaningless green screen that he is actively advising his followers to throw away the very edge they are supposedly paying him to find. This isn't a trading strategy, it's a confession. It's him broadcasting to the world, in his own words, that he does not have the mathematical understanding of a professional trader. No real pro systematically gives their edge back to the market out of fear. Only clueless amateurs and the charlatans who prey on them do. Again, for the full in-depth explanation of persisting market bias and why this is such a catastrophic error, the link to our educational video is in the description. Fail number 8. The self-taught genius. The entire FTS Income brand is built on the premise that the spreadsheets, the heat map, the advanced data are the product of decades of experience and refinement. They are presented as a proprietary work of a master craftsman. Throughout his videos, Iain Higgins presents himself as the architect of his tools, the data wizard who has painstakingly built these complex spreadsheets from scratch. He wants his customers to believe they are buying his genius, his hard work, his expertise. Now pay very close attention to what he says in this clip. This is a moment he hangs himself with his own words.
Whenever I build something like this, and I built this myself, people talk about Excel. I knew nothing about Excel. I didn't get any help with this. I just built this myself using YouTube videos and formulas that I knew. And I basically said, what do I want to get out?
I built this myself. I didn't get any help. An inspiring story, isn't it? The self-taught genius learning from YouTube, building his own sophisticated tools with no help from anyone. It's a powerful marketing narrative. There's just one problem. It's a complete lie. Now, allow me to introduce you to a channel called Tiger Spreadsheet Solutions run by a developer named Chris. And what do we find on Chris's channel? A live trading session featuring our hero. And in that video, while discussing the FTS spreadsheets, the products Higgins claims he built himself, Chris says this.
Let's clear the game.
I built this.
Let's hear that again.
I built this myself. I didn't get any help with this. I just built this myself.
Let's
clear the game.
I built this.
There you have it. A direct, undeniable contradiction caught on camera from his own collaborator's mouth. Iain Higgins did not build these spreadsheets. He lied. He lied to his customers, he lied to his followers, he lied to anyone watching his videos. He is not the architect, the developer, or the data wizard he pretends to be. He is a frontman, a marketer who has outsourced the technical work and is selling it as his own creation. Fail number 9. The blind leading the blind. In their joint trading video, we get to see something we never see on the FTS Income channel. Actual live trading. And the dynamic is mind-boggling. Higgins is advising the developer, Chris, on how to trade. And Chris seems to have no clue. He seems completely lost, both at trading in general and in using the very tools he engineered. And Higgins, he uses this opportunity to prove what I said in our first video. He is completely clueless about sophisticated bet placement. Let's look at a prime example from their session. Higgins tells Chris to place a back bet on over 2.5 goals at odds of 2.02. For a professional trader, or anyone with a basic understanding of how these markets are connected, this is an act of pure financial malpractice. Look at the other side of the market. For the under, there's a lay bet available at 1.97. For anyone who doesn't know, laying the under is the exact same thing as backing the over. And the lay under bet at 1.97 is equivalent to getting a back over bet at odds of approximately 2.031. He had a better price sitting right there on the screen, instantly available. But Higgins, the self-proclaimed multi-millionaire trading guru, doesn't see it. He's literally squandering Chris's money through pure incompetence. This is not some obscure high-level trick. This is fundamental. It's like a professional driver not knowing how to use their mirrors. But let's step back and look at the bigger picture here, which is both hilarious and damning. We have Chris, the man who built the big money-making spreadsheets, who clearly doesn't believe in them enough to use them to make his own fortune. He seems utterly lost and needs a marketing frontman to tell him what to do. This tells you a lot about the real-world value of these tools. And we have Higgins, the marketing frontman, who is giving him value-destroying amateur-hour advice. This is the entire FTS Income operation in a single, perfect snapshot. A clueless marketer leading a clueless developer with deception layered on top of incompetence, all while a customer's money goes down the drain. And that is the final and perhaps most revealing fail of all. Now, to be fair to Chris, we don't know the full extent of his involvement or what he is aware of regarding FTS Income's practices. Is he a knowing partner or just a developer who completed the job? In the interest of fairness, I will be reaching out to Chris from Tiger Spreadsheets for his comment on this matter after this video is published. We will share any response we receive with you either as a pinned comment or in a future video. So, what are we left with after we strip everything away? A man who lied about his name. The origin story is a lie. The multi-million pound profit claim was a lie, he is now deleted. The heat map is a worthless illusion. The staking advice is nonsensical. The trading process is a pointless charade. The exit strategy destroys value. And the very spreadsheets he sells, he didn't even build himself. When you peel back every layer of FTS Income, there is nothing there. No edge, no expertise, no history of success. There is only marketing. He is not a trader. He is not a data wizard. He is a frontman for a product he doesn't understand, teaching methods he can't execute, based on a success story he fabricated. This is a reality of so many of these gurus. They sell you a dream, but when you look behind the curtain, there is nothing there but deception and incompetence. If you found this investigation valuable, hit that like button to help it reach others. Subscribe for more takedowns, because the fight against these charlatans continues. Until next time.
Guru Busters!